If you ever wonder how not to walk a horse, this is it. But somehow that day, I didn't just learn to walk him, I learned to trust where love was leading. You ever have one of those days where you think you're about to look like a majestic horse whisperer, and the horse whispers back? You have no idea what you're doing, do you? Yeah, that was me, the day I met Sport. Sport was only 2 years old, but already built like a linebacker, tall, solid, and strong enough to make the ground move when he walked. He had only known me for a few weeks, but every time he saw me, he came running, nuzzled my neck, breathed into my ear like a giant puppy greeting his best friend. A few years ago, I found my way to 3 Points, Arizona, population 5,124, for what I thought was just a location scouting trip. Turns out I was being guided somewhere deeper, straight to a place called Good Shepherd Ranch, a rescue run by Francesca and her husband, 2 people whose hearts could have powered the whole desert. They've already saved more than 20,000 horses from Amish and Mennonite auctions across Kentucky, Idaho, Montana, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and everywhere those Amish buggies rolled. And although this is a family-friendly story, let's just say those horses hadn't been treated with much kindness. The men who worked them saw livestock tools, not pets, not partners, not family. But Francesca saw souls worth saving. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Please subscribe and hit the like button. It really does something to the algorithm and pushes this out to more people who might not normally see it. Thank you so much, and now let's get back to the video. Good Shepherd Ranch became a sanctuary, a safe place for the broken, the forgotten, and the ones who had given everything and gotten nothing in return. And that's where I met Sport. Francesca didn't hand out instructions that day. She just smiled and said, "Go ahead, walk him." So there I was, standing in the corral, wearing my high-top red and purple Converse sneakers, dressed head to toe in purple, with bright red gloves. Not exactly barn attire, but I had a skin condition back then, and those gloves kept my hands from peeling. Confidence? Way too high. Experience? Absolutely zero. And yet, somehow, I was convinced I could lead a 2-year-old draft horse like I'd been doing it my whole life. I grabbed the reins, squared my shoulders like I'd seen people do in movies, and promptly started walking backward. Yep, backward. Pulling, tugging, talking to him like he understood every word I said. Sport just stared at me like, "Ma'am, are you lost?" He didn't move, not one hoof. Then he let out this long sigh. The kind of ancient sigh horses do when they realize their human is brand new at this. That's when I started laughing, because honestly, what else could I do? I was standing there with this mountain of a horse, pretending to be the one in charge and in control. And that's when my friend Elf entered the moment. Not behind the camera, but right there in the picture. There's this one shot from that day. Sport towering, his massive body filling the whole frame, and there's Elf peeking out from underneath him, looking up with an expression that says, "Are you sure this is safe?" That photo still makes me laugh because it shows exactly how big Sport really was and how small we both looked beside him. One gentle giant standing there in the dust, trying to figure each other out. You can't plan a moment like this. It just happens. Pure comedy, pure grace, pure heart, pure love. The thing about horses is they feel everything you feel. Every bit of hesitation, every drop of fear, every ounce of trying too hard. Sport knew I didn't have a clue. But instead of pulling away, he leaned in. Like he was saying, "Don't worry, rookie, I got ya." And just like that, the fear was gone. Well, almost. Because that's when I stopped trying to control him and started to trust him. From then on, we moved together. Kind of. Not perfectly, not gracefully, but together. And that's what trust really is. It's not about forcing something to move you away. It's about believing it will move you once your heart does. Good Shepherd Ranch wasn't a nonprofit, never filed paperwork or applied for grants. They chose to build something sacred with their hands and their own hearts. 30 acres of desert land, homemade corrals, paddocks, and trailers, and a gorgeous wooden home her husband built plank by plank. The kind of place that smells like hay, sawdust, and love. They hosted weddings and community events to fund her amazing work rescuing horses, because they didn't want to rely on anyone else, not the government, not the donors, just God and the goodness of people who cared enough to show up. And that's exactly what they did, show up. Back then, that little ranch in Arizona felt like the center of the universe. It's where I learned what real service looks like. You see, service isn't glamorous. Sometimes it's messy, awkward, and terrifying. Sometimes it looks like walking backward with a horse who knows more about faith than you do. That day, sport taught me a lesson I didn't know I needed. Trust doesn't begin when you're in control. It begins when you let go. He didn't know my story, that I had both my parents and 14 family and friends had transitioned back to the spiritual realm, some say die, in the last 15 months. He didn't care that I never handled a horse before. He just trusted that the energy I carried meant safety. And in return, I learned that sometimes the fastest way forward is to stop pulling altogether. People say horses have incredible memories, and I totally believe it. Because if I went back to the 3 Points, Arizona area today and saw Sport again, I know he'd become running back, head high, eyes bright, and that same gentle nuzzle against my neck. Because love remembers. It always remembers. It's funny though. I thought I was there to learn how to walk a horse. But really, I was learning how to listen. How to trust what I couldn't see. How to let something bigger than fear lead the way. Sometimes faith, sometimes our Creator, sometimes God, drops us into situations where we have no idea what we're doing. No map, no instructions. Just a feeling that says, keep going. And that's when the divine whispers. You don't have to know how, you just have to show up. I showed up that day with shaking hands, purple sleeves, red gloves, and no clue what I was doing. But love met me there anyway, in the form of a 2-year-old draft horse named Sport. If you ever felt like life handed you the reins and forgot to give you the rule book, remember this story. Because grace doesn't always look graceful. Sometimes it looks like tripping over your own Converse sneakers and laughing your way through it. Sometimes it looks like walking backward and still finding love right there beside you. That's what faith feels like. And maybe, just maybe, that's how we're all being led. I'm so grateful to Francesca and her husband for opening their ranch and their hearts. I'm grateful to Sport for reminding me that even when I don't know where I'm going, love always does. And to Elf for being right there in that unforgettable photo, a reminder that friendship, laughter, and joy always find their way into the frame. If the story made you smile, or reminded you of your own walking backward moment, hit subscribe, like, and share. And join me on Voices American Rescue, where real rescues meet divine connection, and every story reminds us one act of service for all, one incredible story to share. And thank you to everyone for sharing space. I appreciate you.